Morning everyone. Well, it's not morning, it's afternoon. It's been a miserable day, but we are approaching the transfer window and you're going to want to stay tuned because we'll talk about some Arsenal deals that can look to be on the horizon, also some activity around the Premier League so far, and a special club that wants to hijack one of our top players. If you're new here, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. I always want to know what your guys views on certain things that I talk about. At the end of the video, I've linked my vlog. We had the Arsenal parade, and I'm a proud fan. Never been to a parade in my life, because the last one that happened, I was 11 years old, and I was too young to go. And my mum, she's a Man City fan, she definitely wasn't taking me, but we'll discuss that another day. But yes, transfer window's approaching us very, very fast. And interestingly, Arsenal are looking to be very, very active in the market. We do know that. But a tweet from Fabrizio and even David Ornstein mentioned it as well, is that Arsenal are looking to strengthen key areas, which I mentioned before. That's the midfield, right back, left wing and striker. 4 positions I do feel like need some sort of reinforcement or refreshing. And we know that the likes of Trossard, Martinelli and Gabby Jesus are probably one of our highest earners when it comes to the team sheet and earnings this season. And I think Arsenal are looking to offload just to bring in some new faces and also bring the wage bill down. Now, left wing has been an issue for us this season, not because we couldn't produce anything, because we did produce silverware, but at the same time, I feel like Arsenal on the left haven't been the same since 2023-2024 season. That left wing hasn't been penetrating defenses as much as we like. So I think 3 years on from that, things still haven't changed. I do think it's time for a bit of a shake-up. We know midfield, we lost Partey last year. We brought Zubimendi in this year. But the midfield does look very, very tired. We do have Christian Norgard. He was barely used. Lewis Skelly is starting to thrive in that role towards the end of the season. But, I mean, if we do bring in more players that can bring something else to the table and, bring the ball forward a lot faster, then why not? I don't see a problem with that. And obviously with Gabby Jesus leaving, it'd be Gyökeres as the sole number 9 up front. And we will need an additional striker. Now, I know we have Kai Havertz already, and occasionally Marino makes his appearance up in the front line. But Havertz isn't an out-and-out number 9 like Gyökeres. Havertz does offer something different. I do rate Havertz a lot. I don't want to see him leave. But I feel at the same time, we have to be real with ourselves. I feel like we do need to get another number 9. Arsenal have been linked with some names. Bradley Barcola is one. Most recently, we've been linked to Marcus Rashford, which is quite strange as well. Considering he's 28, I know he's not a long-term project. I know he's Premier League proven. And at one point, he was amazing. He got 30 goals under Ten Hag or just above that. He was one of the best players in England at the time. And things kind of started to dip down. And obviously, I don't think it's his fault. I think Man United as a whole, as a club, they were on the decline. And then Rashford had a few loan spells, Aston Villa. And then he had a really successful one in Barcelona, actually winning the La Liga with them. And he actually produced great numbers, and they were looking to bring him back. But I think they've set their sights on Gordon, obviously, who they've just signed. And the chance of them getting Rashford back are very slim because they don't want to pay the fee for him, which is strange because they splashed over 70 million for Gordon, but can't pay 15 for Rashford, who has been working in your system. So it's a bit strange. But how do I feel about Marcus Rashford being at Arsenal? I wouldn't mind it. I do feel like there's better players out there in the market. Would he be a great left wing asset? I don't know. Probably as a number 2 striker, I wouldn't mind because I really like Gyökeres starting. But I think with other names that we've been linked with, I feel like Rashford is probably one of the last people on the list that I would expect Arsenal to sign and want to sign. Midfield is another one. We've been linked to Fernandes from West Ham. We've been linked to Sandro Tonali as well. If I had to pick up the 2, I'd probably say Sandro Tonali. I've been watching him since AC Milan days, which I mentioned in my previous video. And I feel like him or Rice, I feel like they will be sick in the middle. The price tag might be huge. But again, he's got great experience. He's Italian. They're wicked in midfield. The longevity, the durability they have is second to none. Fernandes from West Ham, I'll be honest with you, the price they're asking for is probably 80 million and above. So they're being a bit cheeky for a championship side. But I do understand the finances when it comes to the stadium and who they want. But I want to pose a question to you guys midway through this video. Would you rather have Fernandes in the middle or Sandro Tonali? Going back to left wing, Bradley Barcola. He's fallen down the pecking order in PSG. And I think PSG will look to sign Diomande from RP Leipzig, who is heavily linked with Liverpool as well. I don't think Arsenal have looked... I think they've kind of explored the idea, but I don't think they're willing to pay the fee of over 100 million. Now, there's some reports saying it could be close to 120 million. Do I think that's feasible for a winger that almost joined Sunderland last year for 10 million? No. Julian Alvarez, if he was priced at 100 million, I'd say buy him tomorrow. We've splashed 100 million on Declan Rice. So far, it's proved well. We know what Julian Alvarez can do. He's a World Cup winner. He's a Champions League winner. You know, he's not one nothing Atletico, unfortunately, but he is a very, very dangerous striker. He's one of my top number 9s in the world, and he's very versatile where he can play across the whole front three. So he's somebody that I would say you would need to splash 100 million on, and someone that we've been linked with. Left wing, I mean, there's loads of options. I feel like with left wing, we're quite spoiled for choice. I don't know if Trossard and Martinelli will both leave, but I feel like if both of them left, then we definitely need to buy 2 left wingers. So, you know, if I had to shortlist it, it would be Barcola, it would be Rashford. And I think Morgan Rogers as well. He's someone that obviously we're linked up with as well. But I've read somewhere that if Rogers is signed, then we will not bring Julian Alvarez. Now, does that mean that Rogers will be the second number 9? I don't think that will work. I feel like he'll be a great number 10. I feel like he could work on the left wing. But I think as an out-and-out striker behind Gyökeres in the pecking order, I don't feel like us doing him justice and bringing out his full potential. Another midfielder, well, winger, sorry, I should say, on our radar, which I've also mentioned before, is Rafael Leao. But I don't think his mentality is something that will elevate Arsenal to the next level. I feel like with Leao, he's the poster boy for Milan, you know, and I feel like he would want to carry that on to the next team he goes to. And I think his price tag is pretty low. It's like the 40 to 50 millions. But I mean, no one's actually reached out to trigger that 43 to 50 million price tag, because I feel like his work ethic's kind of dropped recently, and also the injuries and the output he's been given. Now, I'm not trying to take away that he's not a quality player, but I think up here really does matter as a player. If I had to pick one player that I would really like Arsenal to go for, is Kenan Yildiz. I think he's a great young talent. He's kind of giving me that Martinelli vibe where he works really hard, similar dribble style. But I think with Kenan Yildiz, he's got great execution, proven in Champions League, one of the best players in Serie A. And I feel like he's something that we can definitely utilise on that left wings. A bit of youth with great penetration and going up there and, you know, proving a point to left wing. Another player which we've been linked to is Eintracht Frankfurt's right back, young right back named Nathaniel Brown. He's 22 years old. He is somebody that could be replacing Ben White. We know Ben White's also high on the wage bill and could be leaving this window. It might not even happen because of the injury. He might not be able to sign. But reports have been talked about for quite a while that Ben White could be on his way out. And I think Nathaniel Brown, 22, from Frankfurt, I haven't heard too much about him, but I think with Arteta, he's got a great eye for talent. We've seen it with Calafiori. We've seen it with Zubimendi as well. We've seen it with quite a few players he's brought in. That, you know, the players he brings in do impact the squad quite a bit. I mean, look at this season. You know, we lifted the Premier League when we bought 7 new additions. So I don't feel like there'll be any difference next year. We're going to carry on that momentum, of course, by bringing in fresh legs. So he's another option. Now, I mentioned earlier, there's a special team that is looking to hijack some players from Arsenal's squad, and that is Real Madrid. Florentino Perez has come out and said, we want to bring in elite defenders and more players. Now, we know they've signed Denzel Dumfries, his release clause, at 30 years old. We know they've got Konate on a free. Now, they've got Trent at right back, and they've got Sergio Canales at left back. And then you got to think of the other centre backs, Rudiger. We know Alaba's left. They've got Asensio as well. I mean, he's probably the most inexperienced out of the bunch and probably the weakest centre back in my opinion. And then obviously they've got Militao. Now, some reports are suggesting that Calafiori is on their radar. And if Jose Mourinho becomes a manager, he's someone that brought up his name and stating that he wants Calafiori. And not only Calafiori, he's looking for Josko Gvardiol as well. It's quite I wouldn't say it's quite surprising. I think I did read a report last year that Real Madrid would like to have Calafiori in their squad. And they're kind of flirting with the idea again. Do I feel like Calafiori will leave? I don't think he would. I think he would probably have left in a few years' time once he's accomplished a few Premier Leagues and a Champions League. And the chances that he will leave will depend on the price tag Arsenal put. And I think because Arsenal have been winning the league, I think because Calafiori is young, his contract, I'm estimating they're going to probably ask near enough 100 million. He's an Italian international, can play centre-back, can play left-back, as Arteta has shown, and he's a great player. The only thing that holds him back is the injuries. We know that as Arsenal fans, we know that as Arsenal Football Club, injuries is what holds Calafiori back. But Real Madrid are really, really liking the idea of having Calafiori in their team. I do not see it happening. Do I want it to happen? Of course not. And that would be a shambles if we let him go. Pierre Nketiah, we need to sign him on a permanent basis. Barcelona looking to get him. Deco's a big admirer of Nketiah. We need to retain this guy into the squad. We cannot let him go to a team in the Champions League we may come across. And Nketiah played phenomenal in that Champions League final. He's one of the defensive players for me when it comes to Arsenal this season. And I think him going forward will be great, especially when you have that squad rotation, because he's a no-nonsense defender. I feel like we've got that in the centre-back. We've got that with Timber. He is that left back. With Calafiori, he's a bit more attacking. He likes to be a bit of a showman up front. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's great to have both elements, where you have somebody who's a really strong defender, and then you've got a left back who is really strong going forward. So yeah, that is my transfer news for this week. I know some things have been repeated, of course, but I mean, no deals have been done. The transfer window opens middle of June. It'll be interesting. Obviously, I'm wearing my England shirt because, you know, we've got the big one coming up soon. Make sure you stay tuned for that. There'll be live streams. There'll be pre-match predictions, post-match analysis. But again, I just want to thank you all so much. Make sure you watch to the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe. My match vlog and my parade vlog will be at the end of this. So you don't want to miss that. It's amazing. Till next time.